Welcome to How to Talk About Our Business. I'm Romy Neustadt, and I'm so excited to teach you how to have natural, authentic conversations about Rodan and Fields, because that's how we build a business. I'm recording this on my 3rd year Rodaniversary, and I can tell you that in 3 years, I have talked my way into a life-changing career. And now it's my turn to teach you how to do the same thing. Now, I want you to watch this video once all the way through without taking notes. Just really let it soak in. Understand the flow of how we do what we do. Then you can go back. This will be available to you at your fingertips at any time. You can go back and take notes, stop the video, do some role playing if you want to. Use it to your advantage. Hopefully this will be a very valuable tool, not only as you get better and better at reaching out and talk to people, but also in helping you teach your new consultants. So let's get started. You're going to hear a lot of talk about your funnel. How's your funnel? Fill your funnel. Who's in your funnel? Well, you got to know what your funnel is. In our business, we talk about filling our funnel all the time, our recruiting funnel. Those are the people we're talking to, and the funnel corresponds with where they're at in the conversation process. Now, the trick of all this is you want to get people through your funnel as quickly as possible, hopefully in 24, 48 hours, to determine what's right for them at this time. Are they going to become your business partner, your consultant, a preferred customer, and a connector, a referral source? And remember, if you get no, it doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. Now, we have 2 pictures of funnels right here. I want to make it very clear what the difference is and what kind of funnel you want. The one on the left has a rather narrow opening and a very long, skinny funnel spout. All right, so you can't fit a whole bunch of people in that funnel. And because it's so narrow, it takes so long to pull them through the spout of that funnel. That's not what we want in our business. Instead, we want the one on the right. Huge, open funnel. We can pour as many people as we possibly can in there. And then the spout is rather wide and short, kind of like my legs. So it's easy to get a bunch of people through there quickly. Remember these visuals as you are building your business, reaching out to people. And I get to teach you now how to get people into a funnel that looks like the one on the right as quickly as possible. But please keep in mind that I really can't stretch out the opening of your funnel for you. That's your job. Your job is to reach out to as many people as you possibly can. And now let's teach you what to do with them once you get them through. You're going to hear in this business also a lot about inviting and prospecting, inviting language, prospecting language. I really think it's all synonymous with conversation. That's what I like to talk about. We really just have conversations in this business. Because some people, when they hear prospecting language or inviting language, they think they have to be completely 100% tied to a script. And then what happens oftentimes is they get nervous and they think, well, what if I don't remember every word on the script? Or even worse, they don't sound like themselves because they're putting other people's words in their mouths. So throughout your conversation process with people in your network or people you meet, different places you happen to go in life, I want you to remember that you just have to be you. You have to be authentic. And really listen as I teach you now how to use message points and themes and the order of how we present in a way that's natural for you. You can do this. You don't have to sound like me. You don't have to sound like your business partner. You just have to do things in the right order and in the right way. Now, do you notice I'm using the word conversation? I'm not using the words verbal vomit. The reason I point this out is because oftentimes when someone is new to the business. They think they have to tell everybody everything that they possibly know about Rodan and Fields, and they're going to just spout all this stuff out at them. And then they're just going to say, oh, and you too can make a ton of money and blah, 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 blah. No, please, please, don't verbal vomit, all right? Less is more. It's conversations, not monologues or speeches, and I'm going to teach you how to do just that. Now, what's the most important skill in having conversations? You may think it's what you're saying, but oh, that's not the case. It's listening. It's using your ears. And that's never been more true than in a network marketing business. So as you're reaching out to people, you really need to listen to what they're telling you, asking important questions, getting information from them about who they are, what they're looking for in life, maybe some of their pain points, maybe things that they really would love to have. Because, as you'll see in a little bit, you're going to be using that information to help show them why a Rodan and Fields business might be the best fit for them. So as I say to my little kids all the time, turn on your listening ears. So who are you going to talk to? You just a little bit ago, I'm sure, got done writing down your list of every human being you know on the planet with skin. I mean, that's the bedrock of your business. Well, let's review what some of those people might be. Obviously, the people you know, the people who just come to mind. Others are referrals. In this business, because I'm going to teach you how to reach out to some people using what we call a referral play, you're going to get referred to a lot of folks. You're going to talk to them. Lifestyle networking. There's going to be a whole video for you to watch all about how to talk to folks that you meet out and about, in line at the grocery store, on an airplane, at a sporting event. Those are people you're talking to. They're very important to your business. Networking groups. It's a great way to meet new people and to create kind of strategic partnerships with other professionals, and you can help each other grow businesses. Events, whether this is a book signing at your local bookstore, whether it's a cocktail mixer at the country club, whether it's an event for your other job. Any time where you are surrounded by people, it's a great opportunity to meet others, collect business cards, contact information, and then loop back with them later. Also, remember, you're going to want to be reaching out to the people who provide you services. You know, the people whose backs you've been scratching for a number of years. Well, guess what? Now it's time they have the opportunity to return the favor. So you want to make sure you put those people on your list. Obviously, your social media contacts, the people through Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Pinterest or all the other social networking vehicles that you use. But what's really important here is as you are communicating with those groups, you don't want to be spammy. You want to mix it up with a lot of other really interesting, varied subject matter. But certainly the people you connect with on Facebook and LinkedIn are wonderful gateways into their networks and possibly a powerful business partner. And then finally, I want to remind you of this. Talk to your customers. I've heard stories of consultants who had customers who ended up joining other consultants in business simply because the consultant who brought them in as a customer never mentioned the business part to them. What a shame, what a lost opportunity. Our customers are a phenomenal resource for us. Ask them for referrals, but more importantly, convert them into consultants after they've fallen in love with the products. Now, where are you going to invite people? Now, I want to be very clear about what I'm talking about in terms of inviting. In this business, we have conversations with people, and our job is to invite them to the next look at our business or listen at our business until they make a decision. So our jobs really are to keep inviting people to take another glance, to learn a little bit more until they're ready to determine how they're going to exit your funnel at this time. And if they exit your funnel as anything other than a consultant, a business partner, then you can keep reaching back to them periodically because, as I told you before, no really means not right now. I personally have business partners who the first, third, sixth time I invited them to take a look, they said nope. But then something happened in their lives. Things changed. And because I kept dripping on them, they ended up joining me in business because all the stars in line, and it was the right time for them to become a Rodan and Fields consultant. So all the different things that you can invite people to. Phone calls, either a call just with you or, as you'll learn, a conference call with your business partner. Also, recorded information calls about our businesses. The corporate events that happen all over the country. These are an incredible opportunity for you to get your guests in front of our corporate dream team and top company leaders, even if you don't live in the market in which they're happening. You can send your prospects to those events, and they will be taken care of beautifully, but they will come in under you. To Lexus celebrations. That's right, we are getting more and more Lexus earners across the country every single month. And these celebrations are, yes, a party to say, way to go, Lexus earner. But more importantly, they're a business building event. When our guests go to these Lexus celebrations, they really see what's possible. They hear powerful stories, and they may join you in business. The market expansion celebrations. You're going to hear a lot about market expansion. Well, that's our award-winning program where members of the Corporate Dream Team and top leaders, elite and RFX leaders from around the country, focus on a market for a 3-month period. It's a market that's starting to see some flames. And what happens is we go and we pour gas on the fire. Now, during the market expansion celebration, it's a terrific time to invite guests. The market expansions are designed to help you add business partners in that area. So really leverage what goes on there during those projects. Then, of course, you have your big business launches or your business presentations. You're going to be taught all about how to do a powerful launch. And then there are going to be business presentations either going on in your local markets, certainly they're all over the country, or when the time is right, your business partner will teach you how to start them in your local market. Well, these are what you invite people to come to if they haven't yet joined your business, if they need another look. And then finally, of course, we've got the coffee meetings, the one-on-ones. I have had business meetings, meeting prospects, yes, at Starbucks, power walks, so we can get our exercise in as well. I've done business meetings while we've been sitting on the sidelines at a soccer game or waiting for our kids to get through swim lessons. It can be anywhere, but these one-on-one meetings can be incredibly useful and powerful. They get to look at you one-on-one. Now, please note, and I've heard this a lot, if I have a lot of contacts outside of my local market, how do I make this happen? Please understand, you can do this entire business over the phone. A large part of my market has been national. You just have to get really comfortable with the phone. I like to say you got to give good phone, and you have to get a really great Bluetooth because you will be monetizing the nooks and crannies of your life when you're driving places, when you are multitasking. As you get better and better with this language, you will be able to get a whole lot done even while you're having business building conversations. That's a beautiful part of this. I need to take a few minutes and teach you about the importance of stories because you will be weaving stories into your conversations all the time in this business. In fact, I like to say we're paid storytellers. You need to become a master storyteller. The most important story for you right now to focus on is yours. And here's how it works. You need to draft a minute-long story max about you. You're going to be using this in all your conversations. Now, if you need some help with this, please go to the BizDev library on your Pulse and download Business Story Outline, and it'll help you fill it out. But here's really the quick and dirty on your personal story. It's very formulaic. It's who you are, where you've been, what's happened in your life. You know, there's usually some kind of thing, a pain point, something you're looking for. You lost a job, or you just really, you know, your kids are growing older and you really need to use your brain again. All different things. But it's that what's happened now. And then you hear about Rodan and Fields. And you identified that it would be the fit to enable you to do X, Y, and Z. And that's it. That's your story. Now, as you keep going in this business, your story is going to change every month. The crescendo, as I like to say, the quantifiables is going to get different. It's going to morph. Now, your quantifiables, we never talk about exactly what we're earning, but you can analogize it to things. For example, if you've watched the videos up till now, how to power up your business parts 1 and certainly in part 2, you know that in your first full month in business, you're focused on hitting level 2, earning that free iPad, and getting that $250 bonus. So by the end of your second month, this is what we hope your story is crescendoing with. And by the end of my first full month, I had promoted 3 times, gotten a pay raise, earned bonus money, and a free iPad. And I'm just getting started. See that? And then as you build your business a little bit more, maybe the crescendo then becomes, and by the end of my 3rd month in business, I was paying our mortgage and all the kids' music lessons. I mean, that's the analogies you kind of want to make. I mean, people can resonate with that. Now, please keep in mind, while you're crafting your story, you never want to put in superfluous information. It's concise, just the most important things. And you also don't want to plant a seed in somebody's head to do behavior that you don't want them to do. For example, if you came to us as a preferred customer first, don't put that in your story. We don't want people to be PCs first. We want them to join the business right away like the majority do, you know, who as they are getting going on the best skin of their life, they're collecting a paycheck. If you took 3-4 months to research every single thing that's out there on the internet about Rodan and Fields, don't put that in. We want people to look at the information we get them, have the conversations they need to have, and then make a decision whether this is a good fit. So go ahead, draft your story, and then send it to your business partner to review and edit. It's really great to get another pair of eyes on this so they can cut out extra info or just teach you how to edit these stories, because guess what? You're going to be doing them for your business partners too. Now, keep a story library as you build your business. This will happen over time. You want to be a collector of stories, because that's what we do. You want to collect the successful teacher story, the real estate story, the farmer rep story, the went from food stamps to Lexus earner story. You want to collect all different types of stories, because as you're talking to different types of people, you'll be able to pull out a story that they can resonate with and identify with, even if they are totally different from you. Now we get to talk about how to become a master inviter. How do you get people to take another look, whatever that look is, whether it's a one-on-one meeting or to an event or to a coffee date or to a conference call? Remember, don't get anxious about this. You're just talking to people. You're going to get more comfortable the more you do this. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the way that you make this easier on yourself is to be prepared, to be yourself. Remember, we want you to be authentically you. That's what's going to come through. And with practice, with belief in yourself and the company, your enthusiasm is going to be infectious. You will attract others because of it. We hear this all the time. about new consultants who were able to go out there and just start talking to their network even before they really knew what this was, and add business partners because they were just so excited and they believed that they were on to something big. That's exactly what you want to do yourself. We're going to go through some scenarios of 3 different conversations that you may have. Now, I'm assuming that you're picking up the phone and you're reaching out to people on your dream team list, okay? Now, I'm going to take you through these different scenarios, and please know that you may want to do some role playing with your business partner, specifically talking about your dream team list before you ever pick up the phone. I found that incredibly valuable with my new consultants. The 3 different conversations we're going to talk about are the direct hit, the indirect hit, and the referral play. Let me explain the difference between them or among them. The direct hit is when you feel really comfortable going to someone on your list directly. I mean, really being honest with them that you want them on your team. You want to work with them. You think they've got what it takes. So I'm going to teach you how to do that in a minute. Now, the indirect hit, we use a tremendous amount of time. That's when you reach out to people to pick their brain about who they know who might be a great fit for their business. Now, it's very comfortable for the recipient of that kind of conversation because there's no pressure. You're not asking them for anything, just to pick their brain. And we do this all the time. How many times have you called up somebody and said, okay, I need a plumber really fast, a good one. Who do you know? Or who do you know who's really looking for babysitting? Because I need a great one. We're about to have a night out. We do those things all the time. This is no different. So that's what an indirect hit is. And then for a referral play, that's when somebody has passed along the name and contact information of someone else, the referral, and you're reaching out to that referral. And I'm going to teach you how to talk to them, how to include the name of the referral source, and how to pick their brain. All right, so those are the 3 scenarios we're going to cover. Now we're going to do them one by one. Okay, so here's the direct hit. Now remember, before you start reading the script here, remember, just listen. Really think on your top 20 dream team list. Think about who you're comfortable reaching out to this way, because it is incredibly effective. So it might go something like this. Let's pretend you're reaching out to your friend Jane. Jane, it's Romy. I'm so excited to talk to you. Do you have a couple minutes? And if they say yes, say terrific. If they say no, you know what? I actually am just running into a meeting, or I actually got to go pick up the kids. Say no problem. I'm available later today at 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Which one works for you? Now, do you see what I've done? I've given them times when I'm available. I haven't just left it open and said, oh, no problem, call me back when you can. Guess what, gang? You're now the CEO of your own business, and you are busy. You have a busy schedule. You always take control over the scheduling, the next touch points. So you want to make sure that you give options, because you got to fit this in around all the other things that you're doing. All right? So she'll pick a time. Now, let's go back and say that she was available right now. Well, Jane, I got to tell you about my new business, because you are one of the first people I thought of. Or if it's authentic, you can say you're the first person I thought of. Or if you're now on number 20 of your list, you can say, because I'm looking for people just like you. I think you would be amazing at this, and we would have a blast building this together. But even if it's not for you, I'm hoping you can connect me to a few other dynamic people as we launch into, or as we expand into, wherever they live. Okay? So do you see what I've done? I've told them authentically that I'm so excited to talk to them, because I really think they'd be great at this, and I really would love to do this with them. But even if it's not for them, don't worry. No pressure here. I think you'll be able to connect me with a few great people. And then you say, so I'd love you to tell you what I'm doing. Does that sound okay? And then they'll say, well, sure. And that's when you plug in pretty much this is a script. This part is the script. This is the just golden nugget phrase that will lead you to the rest of the call. Well, Jane, I'm now working with the doctors who created Proactive. You've heard of Proactive, right? You always pause. They always have a proactive story. Well, Jane, I'm working with the doctors who created Proactive. You've heard of Proactive, right? Well, what they did for acne, they're now doing for aging skin. And I don't know if you know this, but it's the biggest piece of the skincare pie. And then you transition to your story. Now, if it's somebody that you know quite well and knows you quite well, you would transition by saying something like, Jane, as you know, things have been really tight financially, but I just haven't wanted to go back into the corporate world because I love being a hands-on mom. I don't want to sacrifice that. When I heard about Rodan and Fields and that I could start and grow my own business from home around my kids, it really got my attention. And now I know that this is the way that I'm going to be able to really contribute to our financial bottom line. And so Tom doesn't have all the stress on his shoulders. And I'm going to have a ton of fun doing it and using my brain again. Okay, that's the story. And then you go to the next transition to get to the 5 Ps. Then you're going to say, so Jane, I'd really like to fill you in more about what this is so that we can see if it's a good fit for you or for somebody you know. Does that sound good? Now, do you notice what I've done with this? I haven't given a monologue. There's no verbal vomit here. I've just talked to Jane, but pausing to basically ask permission to continue. So they feel a part of the conversation. They don't feel talked at, but talked to. And then when Jane says, yeah, sure, this is really interesting, that's when you go to the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps are the presence of the doctors, our products, the profit potential, the programs in place, and the positioning. Now, we're going to go over those in detail in just a little bit, but that's when you segue to the 5 Ps, right? That's the direct hit. Now, I'm going to take you to the indirect hit. Again, this is for people that maybe you don't want to be so direct with. You want to do more of the I want to pick your brain kind of language, okay? So let's pretend you're calling Jane back and you're doing it this way. Hey, Jane, it's Romy. I'd love to pick your brain for a few minutes. Is this a good time? And again, if they say no, I've got to go do this, give them other times when you are available. If they say yes, say, oh, terrific. Well, I wanted to tell you about my business. I just started a new business, and I have a feeling you'll be able to connect me to a few great people as we expand into California, or as I launch the California market, or wherever they live. Remember, we get to launch anywhere in the U.S. and Puerto Rico currently, so anywhere where they live is where you're launching, or as I grow a team in Kentucky, all right? So that's what you do. And then you tell them, I'm now working with the doctors who created Proactive. You've heard of Proactive, right, Jane? And then they're going to give you your Proactive story. Well, what they did for acne, they're now doing for aging skin, the biggest piece of the skincare pie. And this time, instead of infomercials, I get to come along for the ride. So I'd love to tell you a little bit more about what this is so that we can see who's coming to mind. And then you'll say, is that all right? And they'll say, yeah, sure. And that's when you include your story. So you may not know this person quite as well as a direct hit. So you may want to transition with a phrase like, I don't know if you know this, but, or, you know, Jane, I used to be a teacher, or I'm a teacher and I'm tired of the budget cuts. I'm tired of the threat of being laid off every year. So blah, blah, blah. Then you continue with your story, all right? And then you can go into the 5 Ps. Again, I'm going to review those, for you so you know exactly the types of things you want to say, but then you just go into the 5 Ps and tell them what this is. And that's how simplistic an indirect hit is. right? You're being very conscious of their time. You're asking them permission to continue. You're keeping it brief and succinct, but you're getting them the important info. Okay, now finally, let's talk about when you are reaching out to somebody who's been referred to you. Now, first off, don't read that script yet. I want you to really listen to this. When somebody refers you to somebody else, the minute you hang up the phone or leave the conversation with the referral source, reach out to that referral. Don't make the mistake I did of not reaching out immediately to the 2011 rising star of our company, Marissa McDonough, when my attorney gave me that name. That just kept getting moved to the bottom of my to-do list, and guess what? She enrolled just a few weeks later with her college roommate. And Marissa would have been on my first level instead of my fourth. Please learn from my mistake. Reach out to them right away. So when you reach out to a referral, you always want to talk about the referral source. You want to link up with that. So if you are reaching out to Jane, you would say, Jane, my name's Romy Neustadt, and I was talking to our mutual friend Jenny about my business, and she told me to get in touch with you. She said you're so dynamic and well-connected that you'd likely be able to connect me to a few great people as we expand into Louisiana. Do you have a few minutes so I can tell you what I'm doing and see who comes to mind? Okay? It's just that simple. All right? Now, please note that if your referral source has told you that Jane is super exuberant, really open to everything, and really would love something like this, feel comfortable doing more kind of a direct hit about this. So it would go something like this. Jane, my name's Romy Neustadt, and I was talking to our mutual friend Jenny about my business, and yours was the first name that flew out of her head. You know, I'm looking for dynamic and well-networked people. And she said, you're the one. So I'm reaching out to you to see if you might be interested in what I'm doing as I grow the Louisiana market. If not, she thought that you would really be able to connect me with a few dynamic people. Do you have a few minutes so I can tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing? See how that works, okay? So then from there, you tell your story. So, Jane, I'm a former lawyer and former PR exec who blah, 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 blah. Tell the story and what this is doing. And then say, so I'd love to give you a quick overview of really how this works so you can determine if this intrigues you or who is coming to mind who might be a great fit. See how I'm working that along? Okay, it's very natural. It's very conversational. Even somebody I don't know. Now remember, gang, what's the worst they can say? No, I'm not interested. Well, what did I tell you? No just means not right now. You're still making that contact, and you never know where it might lead, even a year, 2, or 3 years down the road. Now, before we move on, I just want to teach you how to leave voicemail messages. I get this question all the time. Okay, they didn't pick up. What do I leave on the message? All you leave on the message is something very, very simple. You don't talk about organic fields. You don't talk about network marketing, blah, 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 nothing. All you do, if it's a direct hit or an indirect hit, somebody you already know, at least acquaintance-wise, hey, Jane, this is Romy. Or, hey, Jane, this is Romy Neustadt, if you're not that familiar with them. Hey, Jane, this is Romy. I want to pick your brain about something. So give me a call when you get a chance. I'm going to be available today between 4 and 5:30, and again tonight between 8 and 9. Now, if we don't connect today, don't worry. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Thanks so much. Look forward to talking. That's it. I'm just calling to pick your brain. Now, if it's somebody that you've been referred to, you can reach out and simply say, hi, Jane, my name's Romy Neustadt, and I was referred to you by Jenny Taylor, our mutual friend. She suggested I get in touch with you to pick your brain. I'm hoping that I can get 5 to 10 minutes of your time either later today or tomorrow. I'm going to be available and out of meetings today from 3 to 4:30, and then again tomorrow from 10 to 11. So here's my number, and I'll look forward to talking with you soon. Should you get voicemail, please give me a couple times that would be convenient to get you live. Looking forward to it. Thanks. Okay, do you see what I've done? It's very natural. Just want to pick your brain. Suggested I call you to pick your brain. Here's some times I'm available. When you call back, if you get voicemail, because that could happen, we're on the phone a lot, leave a couple times when I'll be sure to get you live. It's a greater chance that you're ensuring you're going to connect. Okay? So that's how you leave voicemails. That's it. Now, remember I told you got to go through the 5 Ps? All right, how do you do that? Now, the 5 Ps are basically the quick overview of this business. Now, your points in your 5 Ps, your message points may be different than mine. Why? Well, we want to convey the things about this company, about this opportunity that most resonated with us, because those are the things we're going to remember. Those are the things that we are going to deliver enthusiastically and authentically. Don't think you have to touch on every single point about this company in this call. Just the things that really appealed to you. And as you get better and better at this, you will be able to convey the message points about these 5 Ps that you think will really resonate with the person you're talking to. See, that's when it gets really fun, is as you talk to different people, you kind of tailor the message to them, what you think they are looking for. So, first, the presence of the doctors. What's that about? Well, as I mentioned, these are the doctors who created Proactive. And they started this separate company, Rodan & Fields Dermatologists, first in high-end department stores. They're an established global brand, and these products ended up being #1 in high-end department stores like Nordstrom. And then you talk to them about, how they felt trapped under the glass counter. And in an unprecedented move, they pulled out of retail and went solely into network marketing. They were so excited to be able to allow anyone to become a turnkey entrepreneur, leveraging their brand, their products, and this corporate infrastructure that's at our disposal. It might sound something like that. And what's so amazing is these products really work. They're clinically proven. They actually do what they say they're going to do. They transform skin. And we have solutions to everyday epidemic skin concerns, from sensitive skin to sun damage to acne in a totally different formulation than Proactive. And then, of course, for the biggest piece of the skincare pie, anti-aging. And all of our products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee, and our customers and consultants become walking billboards for us as they change their skin. One of the things that really attracted me, you can continue, is our ability to make a significant income in part-time hours, oftentimes around an entire other job and all the other commitments we have. And you can talk about how we earn money. We make money on not only the product profits for all the products we move and people are looking for this stuff, but also commissions on building our team. And month after month, as our team grows and multiplies, that's how our incomes grow. And the great part is the investment is incredibly low. Basically, it's like a franchise for less than $1,000. It's like having a Starbucks franchise for less than $1,000 that you can put up anywhere in the U.S. where you know somebody or somebody you know knows somebody, with the possibility of a first month return on your investment. That was really attractive to me, Jane, as I was looking at what I could do to bring in more money. The opportunity to be able to start and grow my own business for less than $1,000, get profitable right away, and then just start building something for my family. Do you see how there's no one way to say this? It's just weaving the message points in a way that's authentic for you. And then you can briefly touch on everything that's there. It wasn't intimidating for me, even though I've never owned my own business, because everything was right there for me to tap into. Don't have to be a skincare expert, don't have to stock inventory, don't have to schlep around product delivering orders. It's all there so that I'm able to easily service my customers, easily add business partners, and help them learn how to do the same thing. Okay, so you're touching just on the things at our fingertips, the programs available that allow us to do what we want to do. And I always like to add in this part, and what's so great is our company is using state-of-the-art technology to enable us to basically become the Amazon.com of skincare. I think that's a great phrase that most people can relate to. And then I always like to talk about the positioning, you know, and this is such an exciting time because we're just now expanding all over the country. Or you may make it very personal to their market. You know, we're just now launching California or Illinois or Maine, wherever they live. You also can put in positioning messages depending on what's going on. Maybe this person lives in a place where there's a market expansion program. Maybe this person is going to be able to attend an upcoming event. Maybe there's a Lexus event coming up. You know, and what's so exciting is as we're launching Detroit, this is your opportunity to really get a sense of some of the success stories because there's an event coming up, and that's how you can segue to actually inviting to that event. So really get a sense of what you're comfortable conveying about the positioning, especially because of where your contact lives. Those are 5 Ps. Come up with your 5 P talking points that really resonate with you. You know what attracted you to this business. Well, get really good at talking about it. And then, regardless of which way you've done this, direct hit, indirect hit, referral play, when you get done talking about the 5 Ps, you want to ask what I call the $1 million questions. Okay, so if it's a direct hit, you want to say, okay, chit chat with Jane, you know, talk about the 5 Ps, and then say, okay, Jane, based on what you've heard so far, what's getting your attention here? Or you can say, Jane, what's most exciting about what I've told you? Now, do you realize that I'm not asking yes or no questions? We don't want to ask yes or no questions. That's too much. Their brain will immediately go to yes or no. We want to give them a leading question so that it gets their brain to focus on the positive things that they heard, the things that do excite them. So those are great transition questions. Now, for an indirect hit, you might want to say, so Jane, tell me, who are the 3 most dynamic people you know? Because those are the ones that I want to talk to about this business. Or you might want to say, so Jane, who do you know who is, and then what I like to do is describe Jane. So Jane, who do you know who is really a go-getter, self-starter, who's so personable, you know, just in the thick of things. Everybody knows her and loves her. And who just might want to spend part-time hours building a significant income. Okay? Now, I just want you to know that I did this exact thing, asked, so who's the most dynamic person who's popping into your head? I asked that question to my very first prospect on my very first phone call, and as you've already heard in this training series, it was Nicole Cormany, who ended up just transforming my life. So these questions really work, and it's a great, great way to transition to the next step. Now, if it's a referral play, you want to say, so Jane, Jenny thought this would really appeal to you. Now, based on what you've heard so far, what's intriguing you most? Again, you're reintroducing the referral source, saying that the person we know in common, well, they think this is a good thing and that you should really consider it. Or you might want to say, so Jane, who are the 3 most dynamic people you know? Because that's exactly who I want to talk to. Or Jane, who do you know who is? And you basically describe what you know about Jane. Now, please keep in mind that when somebody hands you a referral, you want to get as much information about that referral as possible. It's not just enough to get their name and their email and their phone number. You want to ask a couple questions. So tell me a little bit about him or her. because it's those little nuggets that you can use. For example, when you say, so who do you know who is, maybe crazed in their corporate job and really wanting to spend more time with their kids, but still earn a good deal of money? Like you could come up with things that actually describe that referral source. So ask the right questions and listen. Okay, now let's go through the different scenarios that exist, okay, for depending on what they say. So if someone says they're personally interested in hearing more, when you say, so what's exciting you most about this? Someone may say, Jane may say to you, well, it's really attractive that I could blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, when that happens, what you want to do is you want to continue the conversation briefly, replaying to them some of the things you know about Jane or some of the things she is telling you that make it clear Rodan and Fields would be a good fit. For example, if she says, well, I really do like the idea of being able to build this around all the other stuff I've got going. And I've never really looked at this kind of thing before because I thought it was party, 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 and that I'd have to have a garage full of inventory. Well, Jane, I really do think this might be a great way for you to fit in some really lucrative work from home around the kids, while you're taking them to their sports events and their practices, while you're going back and forth to pick them up from school, in nap time, and, really replay to them like how this could work. This might be a really good fit. Or if Jane happens to have another existing job, well, Jane, this really might be a way for you to fit in some really lucrative work in some nooks and crannies around your life so that you'd still be able to continue your existing job that is paying the bills now, but build a side business that one day could allow you to make the decision whether or not you want to leave the job that you're not really in love with. So it's that kind of thing, okay? You're replaying, you're buttressing their hunches that, yes, this could be a great fit, all right? And then from there you say, okay, so here are our next steps. I want to send you an email with more information about what we do. It's going to contain links to my websites. I have one for products and one for business. You're going to get the same websites when you become a consultant, so check them out. I'm also going to send you a video of our doctors. I mean, who better to really tell you their vision, what this is and where it's going, than the doctors themselves. And then I'm also going to send you, and here's guys where you have an option. There are a bunch of RFX videos. The RFX leaders filmed little short success videos, and they're on the Rodan and Fields YouTube page. And you can pick videos that you think would resonate with your prospect. For example, if somebody's a stay-at-home mom, never really been in the professional world or worked, much outside the home, Natalia Yasko's story is amazing. If you've got a real estate professional, Kim Krause. If you've got anybody in sales, pharma sales, medical equipment sales, insurance sales, Allie and David Box are a great choice. So look through those videos and feel free to tack on a video that you think might resonate with them. I think that makes a lot of sense. It gets them to see the possibilities, not just that you've had, but also that someone else who maybe is in a like situation to them have had. And then you want to tell them this, and this is incredibly important. And then our next step is to set up a conference call with my business partner. Because when you talk to Romy, you'll be able to get an even broader view of what this is and really the kind of training that'll be at your fingertips. And Romy can get all your questions answered. Okay, now I'm going to tell you in a little bit how to schedule those calls, but this is so important. You want to schedule that call right then and there. You want to transition with, okay, so here are our next steps. I'm going to send you an email with more information, yada, yada. And then let's set up a conference call with my business partner, all right? And I'll get back to that in just a minute. Now, what if they're interested in providing the referral? Terrific. That sounds great. Now, if they're willing to hand over names, numbers, and emails right then and there, that's fabulous. What you want to do is you want to, as I just mentioned, pick their brain a little bit more about who this person is so you have a little bit more knowledge and can tailor a bit how you're going to approach them. Now, if they are not at all comfortable with handing someone over right away, or if they say to you, you know, I can't really think of anybody right now, okay, we got the solution for that. Here's what you say to them. Would it be helpful if I sent you an email synopsizing what we talked about? And that way, you can just forward it to anybody who comes to mind and CC me on it so that we can continue the conversation. I've never had anybody say, no, that would be terrible. Of course it'd be easy. And what it does is it allows them to look more at this business because you're going to include some important links. And it also keeps you in control of the message. You know what you're talking about. The person you just talked to may not, and they may not deliver the message correctly. So you want to do that. You want, and that is called the referral email. Now, both the more information email and the referral email are available to you in our saved files that have been described for you in the welcome email. Now, if they're not interested in personally hearing more, but you've talked to them about referrals, before you let them go, you ask the very lucrative question of, by the way, just one more question. If you could change one thing about your skin, what would it be? I have yet to have anybody say nothing. I am gorgeous. It doesn't happen. So depending on what they say, I mean, as long as they don't say leprosy, we have something to help them, right? So when they respond, you say, well, I would love for you to try our clinically proven solution for whatever they complained about. So let's take just a couple minutes and figure out what the doctors recommend for your skin. And if they don't have time right then, set up the appointment to do it later. Say, oh, no problem, totally understand. This will just take 5 minutes. I have time available today at 4 or tomorrow morning at 9. Which one works for you? And then what you do is you can just be in front of your computer on the solution tool, and you can be asking them the questions, figuring out what they need. Now, after you've been doing this business for a while, you won't even need to walk through the solution tool. You'll just know. You'll be able to ask them the questions and figure it out immediately. And then you tell them, terrific, well, now we know you should be on the anti-age regimen. So let's get you started as a preferred customer. Our customers love it. You get 10% off and free shipping. And our auto ship program is completely flexible. You'll only ever get the products that you want or you need. That's how you transition to the preferred customer program, okay? And then you get them as a customer. Remember, you're trying to get these people through your funnel to become a consultant or a connector and a preferred customer, okay? Now, if somebody has absolutely no interest in anything, they're not giving you a darn thing, say, oh, no problem, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'd love to keep you just in the loop on my business. Would it be all right if I dropped you notes once in a while to see if anybody's come to mind, someone's crossed your path who might be looking for something I could help them with? And if they say no, then you know this is not the kind of person for our business. But, I mean, the majority of the people say, of course, yeah, that'd be great. All right, good luck to you. All right, so those are the different scenarios. Now, how do you close people? Closing is synonymous with getting them through your funnel, all right? This is key. The fortune, baby, is in the follow-up. You always want to have your next touch point scheduled. That's why when somebody expresses interest, you not only tell them you're going to send them an email, but you're also scheduling that conference call. If there is an event the very next day, then instead you might want to invite them to that event. Well, actually, you can come learn more all about this. There's a really accomplished leader in our company who's going to be over at the Marriott tomorrow night. Why don't I come pick you up? We'll go grab a drink before, and then you can check it out and really be able to make a decision whether this is a good fit for you. Keep those follow-up touches between 24 and 48 hours. I mean, the longer sometimes people have time to think about this or like poke around on the internet or talk to their cousin Larry who had a horrible Amway experience, it's not good. So keep them on a short leash. Now, we use these three-way calls all the time. This is a conference call that you're setting up with your business partner that I talked about to introduce another success story. It provides third-party validation and support. It's a great next exposure for your prospect. And the real purpose of it is to handle objections or answer questions. So let's talk for a minute about how do you set up a three-way call, and then there's an entirely separate training all about how to do them. So look for that video. Setting up a three-way call is really easy and natural. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the technology of it. Okay, our phones, even for technological idiots like me, phones are very easy to conference in now. If you've got an iPhone like this one, whether it's a landline, whatever you're using, figure out how to conference somebody in because it's very, very simple. And it's going to be logistically easier for you than getting one of those free conference lines and always calling into that. Okay? Now, if down the road you need to do a conference call where there are several people joining, it's not uncommon for us to have a newbie and have him or her bring 3 people right away saying they got to hear about this. Well, then you might want to go to one of those conferencing systems and get a free conference call. I like freeconferencing.com and use that conference line. They do have to pay long distance, but a lot of people have unlimited long distance now anyway, so it's not a big deal. All right, now let's talk about the other logistical part of this, scheduling with your business partner. Now, when you're brand new, here's what I recommend and here's what I do with my people. For their first 2 to 3 weeks, I literally hold slots on my calendar for them so that they know those spots are open for them to plot people into the three-way calls, the conference calls with, okay? Now, as you go along your business, you're still going to be doing these conference calls with your business partner, but they may not be able to hold spots for you because they're working super, super closely with their newbies. So here's what you do. If you have a spot held for you when you're talking to your person, your prospect, okay, I'm going to send you this email, then we're going to set up a call, yada, yada. Here are the times when Romy and I have available. Which one works for you? Now, if you don't have a set time, here's what you do. Please tell me 2 or 3 times when you're available either today or tonight or tomorrow to have a conversation, probably about 15 minutes. And then I'll get on Romy's calendar. And I'll confirm back with you what time it is. See how that works? And then you want to text or call or email your business partner right away and say, hey, I got a live one. I need times at this time, or this time. Which one? Okay, so that's how it works. And as you grow, you're going to be doing so many of these conference calls. It is the most powerful closing tool we have. Incredibly powerful. All right. Now, please note that to the external world, we call them conference calls. Internally, we call them three-ways. It's kind of just an industry term, but to the external world, three-way kind of sounds a little funny. Wouldn't you agree? So just call it conference call. All right. Now, I also want you to know that in your welcome document that you should have received, there's a dial-in number for a recorded information call that I've done. And basically, it's kind of a mass three-way call, a mass closing call that you can always use for your prospects as well if you think it will resonate with them. All right, so this brings us back to 532. Thank you, Marissa McDonough, for this one. So I want to really emphasize all of this stuff that I went over is fabulous, right? You're starting to get a sense of how we do what we do, but guess what? You're not going to use any of it if you don't reach out to enough people to begin with. I want to focus on that 5. If you want to grow a significant business, you need to reach out to 5 new people a day. Every day you're working this business. If you don't reach out to enough people, you're not going to find the people who are interested. You're not going to find the business partners. So instead, keep that funnel incredibly full. Reach out to as many people as you can, depending on what your business goals are. I've always said, talk to everyone with skin. Get them through your funnels quickly. Use your business partners and the other tools at our disposal to really fully illustrate what this business could mean for them. And that's how you will multiply like bunnies in love. All right, get talking, people. You can so do this.